Hello, good evening. The language around COVID-19 has sometimes felt trite and misleading. You do not survive the illness through fortitude and strength of character, whatever the Prime Minister's colleagues will tell us. And the disease is not a great leveller, the consequences of which everyone, rich or poor, suffers the same. This is a myth which needs debunking. Those serving on the front line right now, bus drivers and shelf stackers, nurses, care home workers, hospital staff and shopkeepers, are disproportionately the lower paid members of our workforce. They are more likely to catch the disease because they are more exposed. Those who live in tower blocks and small flats will find the lockdown tougher. Those in manual jobs will be unable to work from home. This is a health issue with huge ramifications for social welfare, and it's a welfare issue with huge ramifications for public health.
Good evening, it's Thursday the 9th of April 2020. My name is Umar Kankiya, also known as the Kank, and welcome to the COVID-19 Daily Update. Just as I was about to start recording, just had breaking news come through that Boris Johnson, Prime Minister, has been moved out of intensive care. So he's now back in the normal part of St Thomas's Hospital, making a recovery. So I expect that he'll be back out probably sooner rather than later. So that's just breaking news that's just come through now. I wanted to kind of take a bit of time because obviously Dominic Raab is currently deputising as Prime Minister whilst Boris Johnson continues to make his recovery. So he gave the briefing today, and we've had 836 deaths overnight since yesterday. So it's down from the figure that we had, the high that we had yesterday. And in terms of the issues around lockdown, it's been said that there's no plans to review it at this point in time, and the government will continue to take the scientific advice, but they do think that we might be heading towards a flattening of the curve, which means that we could be heading towards lockdown restrictions being reduced somewhat in the coming weeks. I kind of wanted to take to task a little bit. There's a few things that has kind of irritated me around how this has been handled over the last few days, just in terms of some of the stuff that's been coming out. So today I read that MPs are being given up to an extra £10,000 in expenses to help them with setting up home working whilst the COVID-19 pandemic is going on. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. MPs are on over 70k a year. I don't know what MP needs up to £10,000 in addition to the £26,000 they're allowed to claim in expenses to make themselves more comfortable to work from home. Now, I know it's not going to be every MP that's going to be making claims in that such, but let's be realistic. In these times, most people that have had to work from home, they've been able to do it by a laptop, having a stable internet connection, and probably a Zoom or Microsoft Teams subscription. Now, the last time I checked, none of that cost up to £10,000. So I would love to know where the justification is that comes for that. Because if every MP was to claim that, all 650, that's £6.5 million out of the public purse that will come to assist with MPs being able to do their job, which really they should be able to do anyway. So it beggars belief how this has come to pass. This on top of the £5.6 million that was spent on sending letters to every single household in the UK explaining that we should be staying at home and abiding by the instructions that the government have given out and the guidelines. I received my letter a couple of days ago, despite the fact this was allegedly sent out 3 weeks ago. So I just, again, beggars belief. That's £12 million potentially that's been spent by Parliament, by government, and this is money that could be used for PPE. We're hearing every single day nurses, doctors on the front line require this PPE, and it's not being made fast enough. And I just think it's absolutely tragic. I think it's not fair that people that are working on the front line to deal with this crisis are not getting the protective equipment that they require to keep themselves safe. We're hearing way too many stories now of doctors and nurses that are working on the front line that are getting coronavirus and sadly are passing away. And a lot of this could be avoided if the proper equipment is put in place to assist them. So I think a lot more needs to be done in respect of this, and it needs to be done as soon as possible. The last thing I kind of want to take to task with the government is on this is the fact that I read that the German Chancellor Angela Merkel next week is going to be just informing the German public what the exit strategy is going to be for Germany to end their lockdown restrictions. When Dominic Raab was asked the same question today, what the exit strategy was, he was not very forthcoming. He's just trotting out the same line about they're guided by the science, etc. Nobody disputes the fact that we are here on the lockdown, and we understand that it is to do with the science and it's there. We get that, but people want to know what is the strategy, because I think we've been on lockdown now for about 2.5 weeks, coming up to 3 weeks. We've already been told that it's going to be extended somewhat, and I think it's interesting that the government don't appear to probably know what is going on, or don't want to come out and say to the public, this is how we want to do things. And I think it's important to keep that line of communication open with the British public, because I think otherwise, if we're not doing that, then you have a potential where people are going to be getting very antsy if they don't know exactly what is going on when it's meant to be happening. Because at the end of the day, we are all doing our part by staying at home. We're all doing our part by social distancing. But I think it doesn't take a lot to say to people, listen, this is where we're at. This is what we're looking to do, and when the time comes, this is the plan that it's going to be. So at least people can start to prepare mentally as to where this is potentially going to be heading to. So I'd implore the government to reconsider that strategy of not wanting to talk about what the plans are going forward, because I think it's important for us as the British people, the British public, to know exactly what's happening. Big campaign about people staying indoors over the Easter break, and I get that. You can bang on about that all you want. That's all good. People, the vast majority of the public understand that. But I think give us the respect and let us know what is going on, what is the plan, what is going to be happening over the next few weeks, possibly months. So at least people have a bit of an idea of what's going to go on. I know I'll probably get criticised for that, because people will say, well, they can't tell us because they don't actually know, and that's fine. I get that, but they should at least have a strategy of what they're going to do when it does get to that point. And let's not do what happened at the beginning of this, which was to kind of play it by ear and hit and hope, as it were, and pray for the best. But they've got time now. Let's follow the lead of other countries. Let's see what other countries have done, and let's start implementing a plan for the UK so that we know what's going on. And enjoy your Good Friday. Tomorrow is the Easter weekend, so wishing everyone a very happy Easter. I may put out a video at some point during over the Easter weekend, but otherwise I'll see you guys next week. Thanks.
If you smell what the
Kank
is cooking.
Thank you very much for listening to my COVID-19 daily update. Remember, in these important times, we need to stay at home. We need to look after ourselves, look after our own well-being. And as the UK government have said, stay at home, protect the NHS, save lives. And that's the bottom line, because the Kank said so.